Hello, I'm Sketchy Duval, and today I'm here with my sketchbook again because I want to draw something, and I don't have much of an idea of what exactly I want to draw, but I just have the feeling that I want to draw something, so I'm just gonna go with that and see what turns up. First of all, before I get to the drawing, I have this page here, which I will be drawing next to today. This is one of my sketchbook collage pages that I like to do from time to time throughout the year, where I just take a bunch of my doodles and cut them out and collage them together with a bunch of my stickers that I have. And I have this empty page next to it, so I just wanted to fill this in with some more art and do a drawing today. So let's get into it. I don't have anything too specific in mind other than the feeling of wanting to draw something from my childhood. The last time I did a drawing video, I was drawing a memory from my childhood, and it made me feel really cozy. And right now, that's kind of the feeling I'm sitting with, is like a cozy childhood feeling. So I want to draw that. I'm just going to think about things from when I was a kid and see where it takes me. It's almost, like holiday time. It's getting to the end of the year, and I always get very reflective around this time of year. I like to look back throughout the year and think like what I did and what I accomplished. Did I do all that I wanted to do? Also, having a January birthday, my birthday is January 13th. I think having a January birthday makes me also feel really retrospective or whatever at this time, because it feels like I kind of reset with the new year. Last year, I turned 25, which was a crazy milestone for me because as a child, I always looked up to 25 as this imaginary checkpoint or maybe finish line or something for myself. So growing up, I always put a lot of pressure on that number. Turning 25 was like kind of weird for me because I was like, now that I've reached this age that I've told myself is so important, what is next? Like, what do I strive for next? But since I was thinking about it so much, it did force me to really consider what I want to do and like where I want to go, what I want to be, who I want to be. I'm just thinking about who I was as a kid and my family and the comfort and stuff that came with my family. And now I'm here. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with stuffed animals, or plushies or whatever. I always called them stuffed animals. My grandma would save up a bunch of quarters, and whenever they would come to visit us, she would take me to the arcade section of Walmart, and we would just play the UFO, like, crane game machines for hours. Well, I don't know, it felt like hours to me. So I had a lot of plushies as a kid on my bed. They inhabited like one half of my bed pretty much, all the way from where my pillows were, like down to the end of the bed. So I want to draw kind of like a plushie monster. Trying to think of actual plushies I had as a kid. I don't know. I think here though, I think I do want to draw a tribute to my childhood dog. Her name was Flash. She was a black lab mixed with something. I don't know. I don't think we ever knew what she was mixed with. She was very sweet, very quiet, very friendly. She was my first ever pet, and I loved her. I picked her out. This woman had a dog that just gave birth, and she was selling the puppies. All of the puppies were surrounding the mom in the backyard. But I happened to look under the front porch of this woman's house, and I noticed one under there. And I was like, I want this one. And my family was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I want her. So they had to like coax her out from underneath the porch. But eventually they did. And we took her home. She was very small. She was like, I remember she could fit underneath, like when the kitchen cabinet stuck out, and then there was like a little space between where the cabinet was and then the floor was. And she could fit like underneath that because she was so small. But she eventually grew, but she was still the runt of her litter. So she was always the smallest one. Like one of our family friends got her brother, and he was like big and wild, but she was not. She was very sweet and calm, and I can't draw dogs very well, but I'm trying. This kind of looks like what her face looked like. Yeah, she was like all black, except for underneath she had a white stomach area. That looks kind of right. I mean, she wasn't this small, but we're getting a representation of her because I am not a dog artist. I'm not an animal artist. It's never been one of my strong points. I want my body to like become plushy. Okay, so I think all the stuff I drew at the start needs to go. Honestly, yeah, this is gonna go too because it doesn't look like me as a kid. The hair needs to be covering one eye, and then we'll have the one eye coming through. Okay, I ran out of lead in that other pencil. Also, I think I want to draw like actually a plushie monster. If we're going monster, then I'm gonna want arms up. This is becoming like a plushie nightmare monster outfit that I would have wanted. And I really want the feet to be like giant plushy boots. So let me just draw like an outline for that, and then I can fill it in as I go. And same with the hands. I want the hands to have like talons coming off. When I was a kid, I would take all my blankets and my pillows and stuff and make a fort in my bed. And I would just have all these plushies inside the fort. And I had my notebooks up there too. I've always loved writing. for fun. And when I was a kid, I would write stories. I kept them up in my bed because I thought it was a fun, like, writer's nest or something. One of the first stories I remember trying to write was my own take on Red Riding Hood. I went through a phase, especially maybe late elementary school or early junior high school, where I was really into Grimm's fairy tales and like the dark versions, especially Red Riding Hood and like Snow White and stuff. I don't know if Snow White is Grimm, I don't know. But I was really into like dark fairy tales like Snow White, Red Riding Hood, and Alice in Wonderland. Those are my favorites, my three favorites. And I wanted to write my own. So I had a plan for at least two. One was called Rosie, and that was my Red Riding Hood interpretation, and the other would be called Goldie, and that was my Goldilocks interpretation. I didn't finish either of them. I didn't get very far in either of them, but it was fun for the moment. I think this would be fun to have a hat that looks like a monster eating your head. This kind of does look like Gur. That's kind of what I was going for. I don't know, something about drawing traditionally always gets me back in the mood of thinking about my childhood. And I've always been someone who thinks about my childhood a lot, and I think I talk about it a lot. Recently, I've been feeling like I'm getting over it. It used to be on my mind so much. But recently, I'm like, actually, I feel inspired by myself now. And I think that's a good direction. But I do think it's good to still consider your childhood from time to time. Don't let go of it. Because there's a lot you can take with you, I think. At least for me, I do find a lot to take with me. But I don't want to get trapped there, so look but don't linger. I don't know. So now I have the basic outfit. I want to start adding plushies onto this. I'm gonna try to think about plushies that I had as a kid. This one that I'm trying to draw right now was a Neopets plushie from McDonald's. It was like a pink squirrel type thing. And I loved this one because it was so cute. And it was pink. Oh my god, my dad is like a prankster, jokester type. Especially when I was younger, like when I was a kid and stuff. And I was in the car with him and I was holding this plushie. I must have said something as like a joke or whatever about like if it flew out the car window. And then my dad took the plushie and pretended to throw it out the window of the car. And I was so upset. I like started crying. And then he was like, dude, here it is. And he gave it back to me. Here, that looks pretty good. That looks like it's covered in plushies. Put like a bow here. Now this one, you know, maybe I should remove this body. Wait, maybe the ears can like wrap around. That would be cute. I'm gonna draw some bracelets on my arms because I loved those like studded bracelets from Hot Topic. I also loved Silly Bands. Oh my god, who remembers Silly Bands? If you don't know, Silly Bands were like rubber bracelets that were, when they were laid flat, they were in the shape of like animals and stuff. And they were all different colors. But then you could wear them like a bracelet. And people would trade them at school and it became like a whole thing. My school eventually banned them because they became too much of a distraction, I guess. So you like weren't even allowed to wear them at school anymore. There were also these things called scene animals or something. Honestly, I always forget what they were called. They were little rubber toys that were in the shape of different sea creatures, and they were really cute. There was like an octopus and like fish and stuff. My local grocery store in my town had one of those machines where you put a quarter in and you turn the handle and it gives you a prize. My local grocery store had these sea creature things in there, and all of the girls in my school and me became obsessed with them, and we would just go and buy them and then trade them with each other and whatever. Those never got banned, fortunately. I feel like I need something over here to balance out having the dog. Yeah, coming from the hand, my grandma has these Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy Muppet plushies, I guess. I never really cared about the Kermit one, but I would always play with the Miss Piggy one. So let me just try to draw those. I'm just doing it from memory because that's all we need. Right here, maybe Kermit should be upside down. Yeah, his legs can be wrapped around, and then his head is like down here. And then Miss Piggy can be resting against the shoe, I guess. They're like actual puppets. Like you can really use them like puppets, and they seem very old. Okay, and then up top I want some like blankets draping down to mimic the blanket forts that I would make in my bedroom. I had a loft bed, so I would just take my blankets and thumbtack them into the ceiling. Isn't that crazy? And my parents let me do it. And here, I'll put a nice bow on top, gathering it all together. There. I think that's very cute. Yeah, let's do another bow over here too. Why not? You can never have enough bows. Here's my little plushy monster self. So I'm going to take some time to ink this drawing, and then I think I'll be back to color it. Thank you for waiting patiently. As you can see, I inked the drawing and then I erased the pencil marks. So all that we're left with is the pen. And here I have my bag of markers. I got this from a gotcha machine. And this is like a Gyaru Girl magazine. I just thought it was really cool. And now I keep all my markers in here. So let's pull the markers out. Now, when it comes to my markers, I do have a limited palette. I have blue, purple, pink, red, and green, and black. Because those are the colors that I like, mostly. And I don't want to use other colors. So, I'm gonna just go in and I'll start with green. The way that I approach this is I like to color in first, like what I know exactly I want the color to be, like the things that I'm most sure of. I color those in first. And I think of it like a puzzle. Like I'll color something in, and then anything adjacent cannot be the same color. So it's kind of fun to figure out what color will go where. Yeah, and then I know I want the hood to be green because I do want it to look like Gur. Next, I think I should do purple. I know I want Miss Piggy to be purple because that's the color of her dress, IRL, like the one that my grandma has. Actually, I do think I should go in with this purple to do my dog because she was a black lab, but I don't want to color her in black because then I'll lose like the line art. And then for my dog's stomach, I'll go in with the muted purple. Do that. I think I want my shirt to be purple as well. So let me do that. And then I want the pants to be pink. Because I had a pair of pink skinny jeans at one point, and they were my favorite. I know I want this little ugly doll to be pink, this squirrel Neopets thing should also be pink, and this girl's hair should be pink. And what else can we do? Take this blue and do these polka dots. I'm thinking one of the claws should be blue. Oh, maybe this foot should be blue. And then this hand can be pink and this hand can be blue. That could work. Let's see, what does this blue look like? I feel like it's dark. Let me test it on something. And now, yeah, I think it's time to commit to the blue. Recently, I have been watching a lot of Dan and Phil because my boyfriend was really into them as a teenager, and he started like watching them again recently. I don't know if he ever like stopped watching them, but he started watching them with me, and I was like, wow, they're actually very entertaining, and I wanted to watch more of them. So in my free time, I started watching them. It has nothing to do with this drawing really, but it's just on my mind. I want to add some red. This pen doesn't work very well though, but I'm trying to add some red wherever I can. Can you hear the rain? Oh my god. It's been raining heavily, like, all night, and it just stopped, but now I guess it's starting again. I guess this drawing is kind of reminding me of Dan and Phil, because I associate them always with, like, that 2010s emo culture era, and this drawing is giving very that to me. do need more pink. I do think this claw needs to be pink. It's really just giving me a pink vibe. Yeah, like that is really correct. It's kind of my process. I start off with the things that I know for sure, and then I kind of just fill in from there. This claw, does it need to be blue or does it need to be purple? I honestly think it might need to be purple. Yeah, I think that was the correct choice. And these ears, I am seeing that at least this one could be blue. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah, that was definitely correct. See, when I do this, it's really a matter of balance. Like, I'm really just trying to balance all of my colors, and I think I like that about working with such a limited color palette with these markers. It's like I don't have infinite options, so I have to make it work. Now this one, I think it either needs to be pink or purple. I think the purple might be better, and then my hair can be pink. I did dye my hair pink in 7th grade. It was around Valentine's Day. I don't think that's the reason I did it, but I just wanted to dye my hair pink, and it happened to be around Valentine's Day. I think my hair needs something. The tips of my hair can be darker red. That's cute. And then I do want the bows to all be pink, I think. Okay, and then I can go in with these pink and purple because they're very light, and I can just kind of sweep them along to create some depth and shading. Now let's do the pink. And then I think I want to go in with a red pen and just do a little more definition. Okay, I think all the colors are good. Now I just need to go in with this like liquid gel pen and define some of the line art that I really want to be clearer. I just want to give the alien some red eyes. I think that's it. All that's left to do now is sign it. So, where should I sign it? I think this looks like a good spot. There it is. I think these pages complement each other very well, which wasn't really my goal, but it's cool to see. And I really like this. Here's a closer look. Yeah. There we have it. Another page in my sketchbook / diary / journal complete. If you enjoyed this and you would like to see more of my art, of course you can find me on Instagram at sketchyduval. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this journey, on this creative endeavor. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching and for listening. And until next time,